Welcome back to my lair. The Satanic Panic of the 1980s brought a dark reputation to tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons. It became common knowledge to fundamentalists that D&D would lead their children to the devil. Which devil, I am not sure of. I have been to the Nine Hills and didn't see too many people playing tabletop role-playing games there. Despite this, the stigma for some is still there, as we will see from the following tales from r/RPG horror story. Let us begin. The first tale comes from user Incendax. Everyone stayed away from her house. My buddy loved to play D&D on the down low with us, but his mother not only insisted her son would never play a game like that, she proudly declared she would burn any books she found. How delightful! My mother would often disintegrate the things I loved too. Moms. It was real hard to explain why he kept needing to hang out with us after school, and our reasons got increasingly bizarre. Finally, she got suspicious and walked in on all of us playing at my house. We didn't lock our doors back then, you see. She loses her shit, gathers up my books, and throws them in my backyard. Then, she spins around and starts demanding to know where our matches are. Matches? I thought even the weakest of humans knew basic cantrips such as Firebolt. My dad finally comes out to see what the hell is going on. Friend's mother announces that she caught us playing that demon game and was about to burn the books. Bad move. My father got me into D&D with a little computer game called Pool of Radiance in 1986. He immediately goes full drill sergeant mode on her, demands she march her ass off his property before he calls the cops, and tells her we're learning to smite evil, not hide from it. It seems user Incendax has spawned from a vile paladin. Tempting target for any devil. The last part was a fib, but that's how my dad rolls. She was dumbfounded. Absolute silence reigned while she just retreated from our house. Months later, she still insisted she would burn the books if she ever found them in her house, but she never stopped her son from coming over and playing with us. You humans engage in the silliest of rituals. Also, the phrase, that demon game, is a bit odd. You humans do understand that demons and devils are both evil but have very little to do with one another. They are, of course, all inferior to Beardholders. But then again, I suppose that's a rather large category. Let's find another tale. Our next tale comes from Reddit user Yomimaru. Not exactly a D&D story, but once upon a time my hardline Christian dad found a CD pack of Might and Magic 6 that I'd borrowed from one of my geeky buddies. A complete meltdown followed. I had to launch the game to demonstrate what kind of magic exactly was taking place, and after a checkup of some fireballs and healing spells, I had to listen to a lecture about real-life magic and its supposed consequences. A note to fundamentalist parents. You're not making your children righteous, you're just making them really good at stealth, lying, and feigning obedience. Stealth? Lying? Feigning obedience? Are these not excellent lessons for any child? From the sounds of it, I may have to recruit some of these Christians for my Thieves Guild. They may make excellent rogues. Let's hear another. Our next tale comes from Reddit user Fluffy Guero. I was 12 when I first heard about D&D. I saved up my money and got the little starter kit. My friend and I were working up characters and having a blast when a news story comes on about two kids playing D&D under a bridge and deciding on a murder-suicide pact. Apparently, heavy metal music was involved. I swear I'm not making this up. My parents saw the news story and, knowing nothing about D&D, somehow concluded that D&D was at fault for their suicide. F my life. Fast forward to the family meeting and me being told that they wouldn't make me give up D&D, but they think I should strongly consider it. I gave up D&D and earned their praise and $20 from my dad for the cost of the materials I lost. A hollow feeling, and to this day I regret not standing up to them. It was buried in my childhood and left behind until quite recently. I happened across D&D again and remembered how much I enjoyed it. Taking it back up again, in spite of my age, and it's everything I thought it would be when I was first starting out. I've since gotten into painting miniatures. I hope to learn enough to DM in the future. And, horror on horrors, I listen to heavy metal music. Please pray for me. Oh, I will not pray for you, user Fluffy Guerrero, for I am nature's perfection and have no need for divine magics. Speaking of divine magics, let's read our final story. From user Cousin Ed. Back when I was in high school, my brother was running Mage the Awakening at my mother's office after hours. He owned the place and gave us permission to be there. He didn't know much about the games we played, nor did she show much interest. One day, a player left behind their rulebook. If you've seen any World of Darkness book, you know that they are designed to look occult as F to appeal to their core audience. Mother found the book right at the same time, as she was having multiple problems with her business. A long-time employee left and Mom was hemorrhaging money. As any sane person would do, she of course blamed the business woes on the occult practices taking place there. She brought in a pastor from her church to perform an exorcism at the office, which involved slinging incense around and saying prayers. She and the exorcist found even more gaming paraphernalia left behind by a friend. He let us use his poker chips to track mana and willpower. The exorcist instructed my mom to burn the books, the chips, and anything game-related. My brother and I found out about all of this after the ritual was done. It was awkward explaining to the friend why he couldn't have his poker chips back. Astounding. Your mother hired a cleric to perform his inferior divine magic in order to save your business, only to burn everything yourselves. Oh, you poor pathetic humans. Disintegrate is a far more effective means of destruction and far more cost-efficient. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our tales today. And you humans with your gods, I hope that one day you will learn that following Beardholders is the only true path to salvation. If you wish to learn more, become one of my minions by subscribing right down below for more fascinating human stories and Dungeons & Dragons tales of interest. Stay chill and keep rolling those natural 20s.